Let's talk about something that we don't really talk about often enough. Since COVID and the shift to home based recruiting, interview quality has become uneven. Some recruiters and hiring managers are excellent, and some are juggling back to back calls from a spare bedroom while their neighbors out mowing the lawn. Standards do slip, questions get thin, and candidates leave feeling let down. It's frustrating, but it's also common. So let's be prepared for this. Here's the mindset: you cannot control the interviewer, but you can control clarity, structure, and the value that you put on the table. If the questions are vague or the interviewer turns it around and asks you to ask questions to them, that's your cue to lead gently. Think of yourself as a friendly co pilot. You're not grabbing control, you're just making sure that the plane lands. Your tool is alignment. Before the call, extract the competencies and outcomes from the job description and your alignment guide. Pick top 5 that matter most for this role. For example, ownership, stakeholder management, delivery under pressure, quality and customer impact. Keep one crisp headline ready for each, 2 or 3 sentences, 30 seconds with one metric. That's going to be your pocket proof. On the call, if the interviewer opens with something like, "So tell me about yourself," and then drifts into, "Do you have any questions?" Smile internally. This is your moment to shape the conversation without sounding like you're giving a speech. Just use this simple flow. First, ask one smart question that points at a competency. Aim it at the role, the team, the product, or the process. Then listen for the pain or the priority in their answer. Second, mirror back what you heard in a sentence or two to show them that you understood. Third, ask for permission to offer a short example. And fourth, deliver a light star HR answer in under 90 seconds that demonstrates exactly the competencies that they said that they need. Then ask a follow up question that keeps them talking about their world. Let me model the language so it feels natural. You ask, "I would love to understand the biggest success signal for this role in the first 90 days. Is it delivery speed, stakeholder alignment, quality, or is it something else?" Then they answer, "Honestly, we need someone who can herd cats across marketing and engineering and get us to a clean launch on time." You mirror and pivot. That makes sense. Cross team launches fall over when decision rights are fuzzy. If it's helpful, I can share a quick example of leading one to the day by clarifying owners and weekly checkpoints. Then you deliver a light star answer. Headline first: "I led a cross team launch that was slipping because decisions bounced between groups." Task and approach next: "I created a single decision log, set weekly readiness reviews with clear owners, and made trade offs visible every Friday." Result last: "We hit the original date and cut unplanned work in the final month by 40%. Then you stop and ask one tight question: "Would a similar weekly cadence and decision log work for you in your environment, or are there other constraints that I should be aware of?" Notice what happened here? You asked a smart question, you listened, you mirrored to their needs, and you showed a concise example that proves that you can solve it. You didn't need a perfect interviewer, you just needed a door to walk through. Here's another common pattern. You ask, "When incidents happen, what do you wish your team did faster? Root cause, communication, or prevention?" And they might say, "We communicate quickly, but the fixes are shallow and the same issues constantly repeat." You mirror and pivot. Understood, fast comms without durable fixes is expensive. If useful, I can share an example of how we turned blameless reviews into real changes. Then give your light star answer. "I took over an instant process where the same 3 issues kept reoccurring. I introduced a one-page template that forced a single owner, a measurable fix, and a follow-up verification 2 weeks later. Instance per month dropped from 8 to 3 within a quarter." Then the question: if we put that verification step in your process, what team would own it today? You see the pattern? Question, mirror, short proof, question. It feels like a conversation because it is one. We are simply using structure to help the interviewer do their best work. Here's a few practical techniques to make this smooth. Use permission phrases. Would it be helpful if I share a quick example on that? 9 times out of 10, the interviewer will say yes. Now you've just earned yourself 90 seconds of focused airtime. Mirror their words. If they say decision rights, say decision rights. If they say reliability, say reliability. People listen harder to their own vocabulary. Keep your examples light. Headline, one decision, one number, and then save the full star for when they ask more about it. Think about it as an appetizer, not a banquet. Ask forked follow ups that reveal constraints. Would you prefer how we set the cadence or how we handle trade offs when the scope moved? Either answer gives you a path. Narrate your awareness. I want to keep this short and practical. If you would like more details on the technical steps, I'm happy to go there. This shows empathy for time and audience. Manage the clock. If the interviewer gives you the floor in the last 5 minutes with, "Do you have any questions?" choose one question that hits their top risk and one light example that addresses it. See, quality beats quantity. 3 shallow questions sounds like a quiz, but 1 sharp question sounds like leadership. If an interviewer really has no questions, don't panic. Smile and say something like, "Can I take a minute to walk you through how I would approach the first 30 days? Would that be helpful?" Then outline a simple plan anchored to their competencies. If the interviewer is distracted, keep your tone calm and your sentences short. When they come back, do a 1 sentence recap. So, just to make sure that we're aligned, the key point is that clarifying owners and weekly decisions log got us to the date. Then move on. No sighs, no drama. You're demonstrating resilience in real time. If you get an interviewer who only asks culture questions like what motivates you and what animal would you like to be, treat them like a chance to sell your approach. Tie motivation to the outcomes they need. I'm most motivated when I can make messy work predictable and measurable because that's where teams relax and customers feel the difference. Then add a micro proof. For example, in my last role, I created a release checklist that cut late defects by 30%. Short, upbeat, and anchored to what they actually care about. Now, here's 2 guardrails. Don't lecture and keep your tone curious, not corrective. And do not show off domain trivia to impress non technical interviewers. If the conversation turns technical and they're HR, say, "I can keep this high level or go deeper. Which would you prefer?" You see, this is kindness, not being condescending. Let us put this into a compact checklist that you can use tomorrow. Before the interviewer, pick 5 competencies from your alignment guide that match the role. Prepare one 30-second headline for each with a number. Draft 5 questions that point to those competencies, one for role, team, product, process, and success metrics. Rehearse the permission phrase. Would it be helpful if I shared an example on that? And during the interview, if questions are weak, lead with one of your 5 questions. Listen for pain, mirror in 1 sentence, ask permission, deliver a light start answer that proves that you can fix exactly that, followed with 1 thought question to explore constraints. Repeat until they start taking lots of notes. This is going to be your green light. After the interview, send a short thank you that mirrors their language and mentions 1 or 2 outcomes you discussed. This helps the note taker and reminds the panel that you solved their problem in the room, even if their dog was barking halfway through the interview. If you remember nothing else, remember this: a poor interviewer is not a dead end. It's an opportunity to lead with empathy and structure. Align your questions to the competencies, invite them to talk about their world, and answer their questions with light proof that you can deliver what they need. You will leave them with one thing that every hiring team wants at the end of the interview: confidence that you can do the job. So there you have it. A simple way to handle weak interviews by guiding the conversation, aligning to what matters, and proving fit with light structured examples. Now, before you go, if you found this video useful, please take a second now just to like and subscribe. Not just to be notified for when a new video goes up, but because your engagement is the best and free way to tell TikTok, YouTube, and LinkedIn to share it out to a wider audience where somebody who really needs to see it will see it. Many thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.